What is DAX? Data analysis expression. Data analysis expression is a formula language to define a new column or to define a new measure. Okay, it is completely the similar, all the concepts that we already learned in Excel, all the concepts that we already learned in like Excel, Power Query, everywhere. But here you are writing a formula, you are writing with respect to some syntax. Okay, there you just click on left off, it will execute it, right off, executed. But in the back end there is some formula. So this is what that formula. Clear? Whenever you are executing something in Power Query, how it is executing? Someone have written formula backend, right? Once you click on this column needs to be done this. That is the formula. So that formula you are writing here by manually. Clear? There is a column which is completely mandatory to create the visualization. Okay? There is a column which is completely mandatory to create a visualization. That column is not there in my data set. Clear? That column is not there in my data set. And one more thing. There is a measure which is completely required for us to create a dashboard. Clear? There is a measure which is completely required for me to create this dashboard, and this measure is extracted from the column which is not there. Clear? If I want this particular measure, you are creating KPI, like card visualization. In that you are inserting a KPI, key performance indicator value. So that value I want, but that value will be depends on the column which is not there in the data set. Clear? The column only not there, how can you get that value? Clear? Now my first step is I need to create the column. From the column I need to create a card visualization. Clear? So that's what the syntax. Clear? The concept. There you are writing some formula to create a new column. Okay? In Power Query you did one process. Custom column, index column. So like that column from examples. So how you created? By taking the example of different column. By writing some condition you have created. Here also you are writing some conditions, if conditions, to create a column. Or using arithmetic operators to create a column. Using aggregation functions to create a measure. Okay. First of all, the concept we need to understand in DAX is what is measure, what is column. Clear? What is measure and what is calculated column or column. Clear? So this will give you a proper picture. Okay, what we need to do with respect to DAX. Clear? So then first, data analysis expression is a powerful language used across Microsoft Business Intelligence ecosystem. See here, one particular thing will come into picture. You will not be able to understand the syntax. Okay, like the way how you are writing in Excel, it is not like that much easy formula. First of all, you need to understand what it is. Then only you will understand the syntax. Otherwise, this particular formula will be a hell for you. Okay, when you are writing some formula in Excel is equals to day off. It is giving arguments. What do you mean by arguments? What you need to insert as a value. That is called argument, right? Here also it will give you argument. But your responsibility is to make sure which argument I need to give. Okay, whether I need to give the table name, whether I need to give the column name, that you need to understand. Okay, first I'll explain the syntax of DAX. Clear? First tell me the definition of it.
DAX is a powerful formal language used across Microsoft Business Intelligence ecosystem.
What do you mean by DAX?
Data analysis.
Data analysis expression, but don't tell like this. I mean, you can say like this, but if you are not able to by heart it, if you are not able to understand in this way, it's a language used to create measures and columns. Okay, it's a M language we used to create the calculated columns and measures which are not there in the dataset. Clear? Write the structure of DAX. So this is the formula. This is the way to write a formula. What is the formula?
Functions plus operators.
DAX is equals to
Functions plus operators plus constants plus expression.
not constant plus expression, constants to expressions. Okay, constants to expressions. See, there is an arrow symbol in it. See, this formula indicates you need to start the DAX function by using a function. Clear? DAX formula by using a function. What do you mean by function? What are the built-in functions in Excel?
String functions, date functions.
All are built-in functions. So that function you need to start here. Second, what do you mean by operators? Arithmetic, logical, comparison. The next,
Constant.
what do you mean by constants? Column names, table names, whatever. Expressions. What you want to do? You want to do day of. For example, if you take a date column, if I want to convert, I have day column, month column, year column. If I want to convert it to date is equals to date of. The three arguments are nothing but the expressions. First I need to give year, then I need to give month, then I need to give
Date.
so that's a they are called expressions. Okay. Otherwise, any filters, where condition. Okay. In SQL you are writing some where condition, so that is nothing but this expression. You are giving some condition. Okay. For this function, see, this is the syntax of writing a formula. Okay. Sometimes this will not be there. When you are calculating the column, this will not be there. When you are calculating a row, like row context means this one measure, this will be there, remaining will not be there. Clear? So now we'll discuss about this DAX. Where we are using this DAX? Primary calculation engine. It's a heart of Power BI. It will create a data set which is not present. Okay? Which is not exist, it will create by using some formulas. And then Excel Power Pivot advanced data modeling. See, when this particular DAX will help you, you have 4 different tables, just like the way how we discussed in Power Pivot, like data modeling concept. What do you mean by data modeling? We are generating a relationship between multiple tables by using primary key and foreign key. Clear? That day what we did, we just connected primary key to foreign key, all the 4 tables, and what will happen? Once I created the relationship between, I can directly connect the customers table with products table. Clear? By writing the relationship between them, I can directly connect my particular customers table with the last table, products table, which don't have any relationship. Okay? Customer table and product table don't have any relationship. But the sequence, via data modeling concept, I created some relationship between them by using different tables. Okay, I can see the person who is sitting in the C14 class. How? I need to go via lift or I need to go via steps. This connection is nothing but data modeling. Clear? The connection between this class to the C12 is a lift or the staircase. This connection is nothing but the data modeling. Okay? If there is no staircase, if there is no lift, is it possible for me to go and sit in the C14 class?
No.
So connecting two different, giving relationship between these different tables by using lift and staircase is nothing but data modeling concept in Power BI. Now you understand in a brief way, okay, why we are doing all these things. If I want to see some person who is sitting in C14, I need to go. Okay, how I will go? By using these two. These two are different tables. Steps is different table, lift is different table. I connected with lift to go and see him. Otherwise, I connected with staircase to go and see him. Okay? Clear? So that's what. Connecting with different table to react with the other table, which we don't have a relationship. Clear? Which you don't have a relationship. By using different tables, you are connecting these tables. If you can create a visualization by using these tables now, after giving the relationship. Okay? Clear now? I can go and bring him to this class. Some student is there, he is from my class, he forgot and went and sit in C14. I can directly go and I can ask him to come and sit in this class. He can come and sit, even though we don't have a relationship. Clear now? So that's what you need to understand this with respect to table point of view. Okay, in our database we have 4 different tables. I want to create a single data set by using all the 4 tables, then you need data modeling concept. Okay, that is nothing but Excel Power Pivot concept. Clear? And then analysis services, enterprise level analytics, Azure analysis services, cloud-based solutions. Okay, by writing these formulas, you will get different columns, and by using those columns, you can directly give insights. Okay, but one thing you need to make sure is whether the filter, whether the condition you are applying for specific DAX is proper or not. You need to make sure. Clear? I'll give you complete picture. What is the formula? How these operators will helpful for you in this particular formula. Okay, where and what is the situation we need to use this formula. Okay, each and everything I will give you. As of now, we'll learn basic to intermediate completely. Okay, advanced level you will only understand when you are working under any company. Clear? Until or unless you have the basic requirement to create any particular dashboard with the DAX, you will not able to understand the advanced level. Okay, is equals, see, we have already seen right function, you know,
Yes.
concatenate function, you know. I want to concatenate 2 column strings into 1 column, and I want to perform write of function on this column. I need to write function first, inside that concatenate function. Okay, nested functions. So DAX also will be depends on nested functions. You might sometimes you might not be understand what this function is saying. I'll show you some DAX. Okay, with respect to my project, I don't know whether it is available or not. I'll show you. If it is available, I'll show you what kind of DAX we are writing before, not now, before. Currently, see, in Amazon QuickSight also DAX is there, but it is not called as DAX. It is like calculated field. Okay, in Power BI it is called DAX. There it is called calculated field. In Amazon QuickSight, writing DAX is literally hectic. Okay, the syntax is completely illogical in Amazon QuickSight. I sometimes what we are doing, we are using ChatGPT to convert the Power BI DAX into Amazon QuickSight calculated field. Even we are not able to understand what kind of syntax Amazon QuickSight is using. Okay, it's completely complicated. So what we are doing, we are directly writing the same query in SQL only, and we are fetching the data. Sometimes Amazon QuickSight is not allowing us to connect with the database. Is not allowing ETL process, you know, extract. It is not allowing to extract the data first of all. If it is not allowing you to extract, how can you create a data by loading? Clear? Some dashboards, we are creating almost 15 dashboards under me. In that 15 dashboards, currently 6 dashboards don't have ETL process. Then you need to write a DAX in Amazon QuickSight. It is necessary to write a DAX in Amazon QuickSight, otherwise you can't create dashboard. Okay, but Power BI interface is completely advanced. It is completely user friendly. You can do whatever you want. Okay, that is the reason they mentioned Power BI in your course as a data analyst. Clear? Tableau is also not having much features with respect to DAX. Okay, with respect to DAX, Tableau also can't handle this DAX effectively the way Power BI does. Clear? That is the reason Power BI is in the #1 position currently. Clear? And they are providing free service. We are using free service. You can do whatever you want. You can learn whatever you want. So when they are giving such kind of opportunities, each and every person will understand, and each and every person will try to implement Power BI in their day-to-day life. That is the reason it's in the top compared to others. Clear? Clear? How DAX will work in 3 different cases. Tableau, it's completely different, but you can understand. Amazon QuickSight, literally hectic. You can't even understand what we are writing, what it is showing. Okay, there is no formula bar. Where I am writing also I don't know. Okay, I am writing in different dashboard. I am accessing this column in different dashboard. So that much confusion is there. We need to be familiar with Amazon QuickSight. Okay, when you will become familiar, once you are understanding this particular DAX. Here, if you know everything, logical. See, the only thing to understand, DAX is nothing but a like advanced level language until or unless you feel it. Okay, if you feel it's advanced level language, then it's advanced level. If you feel like I can do anything, okay, completely logic based. You need to think in a logical way. Clear? Like the way we are thinking like randomly and I'll do it later. This will not work with DAX. You need to think logically. You need to understand the output before writing the query. You're going to write some formula. Before writing that formula only, you need to understand what is the output of this formula. Clear? What's the output of this formula? That's what analysis now. So what you are creating, whether if I write this, will I get the output or not? Okay. First you need to analyze by yourself. Then only we need to work. Sometimes what will happen, I have a database. I don't have a column which I require for visualization. First I need to create that. From that, I need to create one more measure. From that, I need to create one more column. The one which you created by writing a formula, by using that as a reference, you are writing one more formula to create one more column. And from that, one more column. From that, one more column. Like that, you need to create. That is called DAX. Okay? For example, in the beginning, I have only 4 columns. But once the project ends, you will be having 50 columns. The 50 columns, remaining 46 columns will be extracted by writing DAX. Clear? There is a chain connection between each and every column if you are applying DAX. Okay? In the first step, if you did wrong, all the steps will be gone. Clear? For example, in the first step, whatever I am writing, you need to make sure the output is correct or not. Okay? That's what I said now. You can write the same column, you can create the same column in SQL also. You need to write a query in SQL to see the output first. Whether you are getting the proper output, once you are getting the proper output, then only go to the DAX. I mean, this is how you need to compare and say. Okay, if you say like, how can we come to know this value is correct, this value is wrong? That you will only understand when you execute the query in database. The same database you are fetching and doing, if you are getting a correct value there and it is matching with this is also correct. If it is not matching, sometimes mostly the confusion with count of, distinct count of. Okay, I am the only person who will get confused because of these two. Okay, sometimes I am giving distinct count. I am getting distinct count means it will remove all the duplicates. Okay, I am getting one output. In database I am applying count. I was checking why I am getting error. Almost 1 hour I spent on both of them. Clear? That's how the things will work. And then key capabilities, perform complex calculations, create new information and insights. Directly creating a new information, and from that information we are creating a visualization. That insights. Build reusable measures and calculation columns. You can use wherever you want. In the next dashboards, wherever you want. That's what now. By this column, next column we can create. By that column, one more column we can create. It's like for example, my database don't have this hands, legs and all. You are writing a formula to give a hand. Okay, from that hand you are creating this hand. That's what the link between everything. That's what the enable time intelligence and trend analysis. Mostly time intelligence and trend analysis will come to you only when you are working with a sales kind of data set. Okay, if it is not a sales, there is no trend analysis. Okay, if there is no marketing, there is no trend analysis. Clear? That's what. Clear, right? Understand the formula. What is the DAX formula structure? Functions plus operators, constants, expressions. Clear? And then, so some these things are there. You just explore that. Okay. Why DAX transforms your analytics? Benefit. It's for data exploration. What is the explanation? Derive new metrics and perform complex calculations. New metrics means new KPIs, key performance indicators, and you can create a new columns. And then what is the real world impact? Turn raw sales data into profit margins, okay, growth rates and KPIs. Let's take, I have a product cost. One product cost is 50 rupees. I have 50 quantity. So do I have a profit, like the overall column? One product cost is 50 rupees. I have 50 items. 50 into 50, how much? That column I don't have. You can create by using this. And that column is nothing but total sales. Clear? The total sales column only we don't have, we can create the total sales. Clear? GST column we don't have, we can create GST column. Dates column we don't have, we can create dates column. Any data type we can create by using the functions. Clear? And then reusability. You can reuse the same particular metric everywhere in your dashboard with respect to the same data set. Okay? If the data set changes, it will not work. Clear? DAX measures work across multiple reports or visuals with the same data set. Write once, use everywhere, saves development time. Okay? Every time creating, see, whenever you are doing the same operation without DAX, you need to write formula for every time you need to write a formula. Clear? If there is no physical column, there is no value. So this DAX will create a physical column in the dataset. Time and built-in functions of year YTD, QTD, MTD comparisons. This much, this year how much, last year how much, before last year how much, what is the next year's? That's what you can. Time intelligence function means after exactly from today to 1 year back, what is my sales? Okay? From today to 2 years back, what is my sales? 3 months back, what is my sales? 4 months back, what is my sales? 1 month back. To understand the sequence, we are using this time intelligence functions. And business insights generate actionable insights from data. Okay, this is the these formulas and these calculations and these calculated fields will give you the actual insights. The real-time data set will not give you anything. By writing DAX, whatever you are creating, that is what the important. Clear? If you miss one step, entire your dashboard will be wrong. Okay, that's what the thing. DAX benefit, you just go through this. DAX syntax and naming rules, just this concept I'll end this class. Simple table, for example, we'll be having a table name. What is our table name? Real Mart sales data. In our dashboard, we will be having Real Mart sales data, and in that columns are there. Table name is the Real Mart sales data. Inside that all are column fields. Okay. First, the sales name. Okay. Here there is a different kind of syntax. If the if the name is sales, there is no need of double inverted commas because there is no space. Before and after the table name, there is no space. Okay, you can directly write sales. No quotes needed for single words. Real Mart sales, if it don't have any space in between, there is no need of quotations. But Real Mart space sales. So we required quotation before and after the table name. Clear? And table with spaces. Canada sales. Here Real Mart sales. There is a space in between. When you are writing a formula, you need to give double inverted commas before and after this table name. Clear? So this is one syntax to make you understand. And use single quotes for spaces. If space is there, you need to use single quotes. And then fully qualified column. So this is nothing but the fully qualified column. Okay? If the data set name is the table name, this is the column name. Column name will be enclosed with square brackets. Okay? For example, if someone wants to access this person outside, first they need to ask my person to come in, permission to come inside. Clear? So this is me. This is me. Inside, they want to talk to him. Okay? Inside me, in this class, he is there. Clear? Table, column is there. That column needs to be separated with square brackets, and these are called like here walls. Clear? Square brackets. You need to access like this. If I have in Real Mart sales column, city column is there. Real Mart sales table, city column is there. How to access that? Single inverted comma. Real Mart sales, close the single inverted comma, open square bracket, city, close the square bracket. This is how you need to access. That is called fully qualified measure or column, anything. Okay? Table name and column name. Don't get confused with respect to this. Okay? And then current table amount. You want only particular column. Okay? You have only one data set. In your data set, only one data set is there. In your Power BI desktop. Then no need of giving sales. Okay? Then no need of giving sales because where it will go and search. If you take the example of MySQL Workbench, if you have multiple tables, definitely you need to write use database. Okay? Use retail mart sales India. Then only it will go and check. Otherwise, not required. If one database is there, what is the necessity of writing the data? It will not go anywhere. It will directly go there and it will check this one. Clear? So like that, if you have one data set, only real mart sales data set, this is enough to get the output of that column. Okay. If you want to write, you can write sales also. Okay, clear? Use within same table context. It needs to be in the same context only. Clear? See, function of table of column name. Okay. I want to see total sales. What I need to do? Sum of total sales column. Clear? Sum of sales of total. In our case, sum of real mart sales, which needs to be done under single inverted comma, open square bracket. Which column I need to click? Like sum total or sales. Total column. Close the bracket and close the year bracket. Then execution will done. Measure will come. Okay. Measure versus calculated column. Measure versus calculated column. What do you mean by measure? What do you mean by calculated column? First of all, before understanding this particular concept, you need to tell me what is the output of aggregations. What is the output of aggregations? Single value. Sum of sales. It will give me output as only one value. That is called measure. Clear? I am applying something on particular column to get an output as a single value, which is a key performance indicator, and I can take it and I can keep it in the visualization, only card visualization. Clear? KPI I can show only card visualization, there only I can see only one value. Clear? The output of aggregations are nothing but a single value. Clear? That is nothing but a measure. Okay? Clear? For that you are using aggregation functions. If you use aggregation functions, that is nothing but a measure. Clear? If the output is one value, that is nothing but measure, and this is called row context or column context. There are two different concepts we have. This is called column context. It is giving the output of column. It is calculating the complete column total sales and it is giving one output. Column context. Clear? Nothing but another word of measures is nothing but column context. Okay. The next calculated column is nothing but I have a loan amount column. I have a GST column. Okay. Loan amount is 50,000. GST is 0.18. I want to create one more column with every record. I want to multiply loan amount into GST. I want to create a new column called loan amount. For example, see, I have two different columns. This is called loan amount and this is called GST. Okay. If I want to multiply these two and I want to create one more column. So each and every value multiply and it will give you one value. Each and every value, it creates a column. This particular calculated column is nothing but it is creating a new column. It is multiplying every row with the other row and it is giving the column. This is called row context. It is giving the value row wise. Okay, aggregations will give you, it will sum everything and it will give you output a single value, that is called column context. Understand? Now clear? If I multiply this and this, there is no aggregation present. I can't work with aggregations here because aggregations will calculate entire column at once. Aggregations don't have a functionality to calculate one record. Okay? There is no aggregation, that is called calculated column. If there is an aggregation, that is called measure. Clear? Measure will give you a single output, but calculated column will give you each and every row output. Okay? What is the context of these measures? Column context means it will calculate the entire column and it will give you one output. What is the context for calculated columns? Row context. This execution will be done row wise. Okay? The sequence of operation for calculated column is row wise. The sequence of operation for measure is column wise. Clear? So that's what the measure and that's what the calculated column. Okay? If I write anything, sum of loan amount, this is called measure or calculated column. Measure. It will only give you by adding all the loan amounts and it will give you some amount at the end. Okay? But loan amount into GST, this one, it will give you the value each and every row, every value. Okay, it is completely creating a column, but measure is not creating a column. It is giving you an output. It is storing your value somewhere. Clear? Clear? That is the difference between measures and columns. See, dynamic calculations, context aware, no storage impact. Only one value. Where is the storage? It is not taking a storage. Better performance, highly reusable. Wherever you want, you can go ahead and reuse. Okay? And so this is the one. Total revenue is equal to sum of sales. Aggregation they used. Clear? There is a function called aggregation. And here calculated column, row level calculation, it will calculate each and every row. Clear? Stored in a model means it is stored in a data set. If you see there is a column will create it by using this particular calculated column. But if you see there will be no measure will be there in the data set. Clear? You will see going forward. And then increase model size. It will increase the size of the model by creating one more column. Can impact performance. Yes, it is impacting the performance. If the new data is entering inside the database, like table, it will take some time to refresh now. That's what the call performance means. Context specific means you need to give the specific context to create a new column. Here there is no context required because it is not performing row wise, it is performing column wise. This operation is row level calculations, column level calculations. Clear? Now you understand the difference? Measure is nothing but column context, column level calculations. So calculated column is nothing but row context, row level operations. It will give you output row wise. This calculated column, in the name itself you can see, it will give you new column. Clear? Clear, huh? See, when you want the sum of this column, no need to create this column separately. For example, I want loan amount into GST different column. Okay, and after that what I am going to do, I want to have this total amount, sum of loan amount and GST total amount, I want sum of. No need to create a calculated column to get that one. You can directly write sum of loan amount into GST. Sum of loan amount column into GST. It is giving you an output without increasing the storage, right? You want the output. Based on the output only you need to manipulate. Okay? Otherwise, one more thing. From this column you are going to create one more column. And in this case, you can't create a measure. Clear? You don't want this value. You want to create one more column and that column aggregation I want. Okay? In that case only you need to create a calculated column, then the model size will increase and one more column will go and sit in your data model and the size of your data model will increase like that. Performance will be decreased. Measure performance will increase because it is not taking the extra storage. If you are having crores of record in your database, if you create one more column means it will take crores of takeouts only. Again crores of records will create. That means storage is increasing. Here only one record. Okay. You want the output of this particular column, then no need to create this column. Directly write measure sum of loan amount into GST. It will only give you output. Clear? But if you want to create a different column from the output of this column, then only you need to create a calculated field. So that is this. That's what use sparingly. When you are creating this means you are stressing your database to create a new column with all the records. Clear? That is the reason when there is no requirement of creating, no need. Until or unless we should not create. This we can create. Preferred mostly. Calculation is what you want. In your database, you are not going to show anything differently column wise. Na? Visualization is not required the column. Visualization only required the measure. That's why it is preferred. It is whenever there is a requirement. Clear? So that's it. That's all about today's class. Tomorrow we'll continue with the other class. Okay? Tomorrow 9 to 12. Please come to the class. Okay? You can leave.